This is NewHampshireCrossCountry.com powered, and we're rankings in the week of divisionals. So what an exciting Saturday we are going to be having in true New Hampshire form, battling in windy, rainy, cold weather for the crowns for divisional state champions. So my name is Violet Sullivan, and I'm from Exeter.
I'm Forrest McKenzie from Concord.
I'm Jeffrey Allen from Campbell.
I'm Madison Cox from Co-Brown. I'm Luke Kasich, also from Co-Brown.
As Violet said, we got a nor'easter coming. It's going to be great racing. The story of the weekend is probably going to be how the weather treats the course and all about course conditions. And in honor of the weekend coming up, we're going to have a shorter rankings today. And we're going to go dive right into the preview, and we're going to give you an athlete perspective on what we think is how it's going to play out, and give you a little insight. But today for the rankings, the boys remained pretty similar to how it's been all year, and the girls had, again, tons of movement. We still are unsure who's going to take the MLC crown, but stay with us and let's look at it. Let's check it out.
Okay, starting with number 10 on the girls.
So number 10th is Bedford, who is the same as they were ranked last week. They're led by Carly Brinko, who can help her team by getting a low number at Division 1s.
Number 9 is Concord. They were 6th last week, but they just won Capital Area. They're led by Morgan Orcutt, and they're looking really strong as a team.
Number 8 is Salem, who dropped from 3rd last week. They raced the varsity 2 race at Brown, but they had a lower and slower average time than BG Exeter and Oyster River. So they definitely could improve this week at D1s.
Number 7 is Oyster River, moving up from 8th last week. They were only 3 points behind Exeter at Brown, and they're really tight pack. They're looking really, really good going into championship season.
6 is Exeter, who dropped from 2nd last week. They raced at Brown last weekend. They lost to BG by only 4 points, so it's definitely going to be a tight race at D1s this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Number 5 is BG, moving up from 9th. They beat Exeter at Brown, and they have a very strong 1-2 punch with Caroline Toll and Caroline Fisher.
In 4th is Souhegan. They didn't race last week, but they have the really strong top 2 of Ariel Zlotnick and Chloe Trudell, and they're 3 to 5 that aren't far behind.
Number 3 is Pinkerton, moving up from 7th last week. They were idle, but they're led by Megan Cross and Sierra April, and they have a lot of experience, especially in championship season, and they always perform really well then.
2nd is Conval, who was 4th last week. They didn't race last weekend, but they have the really strong top 3 of Rachel, Claire, and Skylar, who could all get very low numbers at D2s, and if their 4 and 5 are right there, they could be a really hard team to beat.
And number 1 is Co-Brown. With lots of racing this year for a lot of good practice. I think you guys are looking really strong, led by Addie Cox and Abby O'Connor. They have a lot of depth, and they can cover even if somebody doesn't have a great day. So I think definitely they're a good number 1 to pick.
So for my sleeper team, I picked Hopkinton. They're led by Kaylee Stockwell and Anna O'Reilly, and they have a strong pack to follow, and I think that they're one of the top teams in D3, so I think that if they have a good race there this weekend, they can definitely get into the top 10.
I'm going to go with Manch Central, led by Caitlin and Keegan Pepin and Savan Facenda. They also always have great races at D1s, and I'm excited to see how they do.
I'm going to go with Kearsarge. I think they're led by Maya Doobie, who's going to get a low stick. And I think Kearsarge is going to make some noise.
Yeah, I agree with Violet. I'm going to say Central. Of course, they have the Pepin twins, Savan Facenda. And they got, of course, the Ella Tarza. Can't leave her out.
Can't. You just can't.
I agree with Addison, and I'm going to go with Hopkinton for my sleeper team.
Nice. Jeff, I got to ask you, bro. What's the deal with your style right now? I mean, you got the stash going. You got the, you just got out of prison. Are you trying to get back in? What's the deal with that?
So I went to my barber today. I was like, hey man, I got a race on Saturday. Pretty
Hey
important.
man, I gotta look like I do Grand Theft Auto. Is that what you told him?
I was like, I got a race. He said, say no more. And he gave you that nice lineup right there.
That's nice.
At
That's
least
nice.
it's not
Nice
blonde
racing.
anymore.
All right, Jeff, start us off, bro.
All right, so number 10 for the boys, we got Sauhegan. They're led by Thomas Huntington and Nathan Stein. My guys raced them at Pelham. They had a really strong pack coming into the finish, so that was great to see.
All right, number 9 is Hanover. They had a home meet on Friday. They had won, and there was no state-ranked teams in that meet.
Number 8, we got Messinic, led by Landon Valancourt, who will be challenging Grand Theft Auto over there for the title. And their team is the favorite to win the Division III title. So all of them will be going in there, fighting with a purpose. D3 tends to have a couple shakeups, so we'll see if they can hold on to the ranking.
Yeah, so number 7, we got Pinkerton. They were second at Catholic Memorial. They're led by Joe Gagnon and freshman Luke Brennan.
Number 6 is Oyster River. They placed 4th out of 5 teams at Brown, and there are only 43 runners in Brown this year. They're 27 points behind Winnicott.
Mm-hmm.
So number 5, we got Londonderry. Londonderry is led by the trio of Matt Griffin, Will Heen, and Eric Nowak. Eric's had a great year so far, making the team a legit contender, and they're gonna try to crack that top 3, maybe even top 2 at Division I's this weekend.
Number 4, we got Winnicott. They won Brown, their first place, a big race. They're led by Colin Donnelly and Jack Taylor. I think they're going to have a really strong race at states. If they want to really have a chance to get the state title, their 5th man has to have a great race.
All right. Number 3 is Keene. They are led by Jake Velazquez, followed by the Kindop brothers.
Number 2, we got Cole Brown. They're led by Luke Tkaczzyk, Luke Kazik, and Dawson Dubois and Wyatt Mackey. They're the favorites to win Division II. They better not sleep because Oyster River is gunning for them. That's what they were telling me. And Luke, I have to say, watch your neck because they're coming for it, right? Anyways, yeah, they're coming for you. So Cole Brown is number 2.
All right, number 1, all season we got Concord, led by Forrest McKenzie and Eli Bosch Dining. Not only are they ranked to win first for states, they also beat a lot of the greatest New England teams this year. So they're looking really strong.
Yeah. I mean, have we raced Campbell yet? I don't know. You said greatest New England team.
I mean,
have we even raced Campbell? Yeah,
no.
We did. No, we didn't. Did we even race you?
No, and that should make you a little bit worried for us. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm scared. So for my boy sleeper, I got Conval. This Eric Coyne kid. He was like, you know what? They're sleeping on Conval, so I'm putting all my chips on that kid's table, and let's see if Conval can come up clutch.
My boys' sleeper team is Campbell. They're led by Jeffrey Allen, who's battling head-to-head with Messinic's Landon Valancourt for the state championship.
It's not
My
going to be much.
vote is that Landon Valancourt is going to take.
Landon's going to kill him. Let's go, Landon. I'm only kidding, Jeff.
My sleeper is North. They were 3rd behind Pinkerton at the Catholic Memorial. They're led by Joseph Curran and Yassine Jakib. A really strong team this year.
What about Gideon?
Of course, Gideon Prince, one of the best runners out there. He wasn't led at Catholic Memorial by Joseph Curran and Yassine Jakib.
Oh my God. Girls, we got anything?
I'm going to have to agree with Jeffrey on the North thing. I think that they've been building up all season, and I think that they're going to definitely be there in the top 10 soon.
I'm going to go with Conval. I think also with Evan Coyne and Harrison Kim, they could definitely be a top team.
All right, let's get into this preview. We're gonna do the preview the way that the races are scheduled for the meet. And so with that, we're gonna start off with D1 girls.
Okay, so I'm personally very excited to see the D1 face-off with girls. I think the title could go to one of 4 or 5 teams. So that's going to be really exciting. So I think the favorite right now seems to be Pinkerton. They are the reigning champions. So again, led by Megan Cross and Sierra April, they have a lot of experience with winning this race. They always perform well. Matt Derryfield always at D1s. So they definitely are going to put up a fight. Next, I think BG did just beat Exeter at Brown. So, and again, they have a really low 1-2 punch with Caroline Toll and Caroline Fisher. So if they can close that gap between their next runners, they're also going to be really tough contenders. My team, Exeter, we were 4 points behind BG at Brown, like we said before. So that's also going to be really, really close. And then with Salem in there too, they didn't race against us and BG at Brown, but they're looking really strong this year. And their team, with being middle school champs last year, definitely they have some experience winning championships, and that's going to be interesting. So after Salem, so Concord and Bedford could be next. Also looking really good. And I think fighting for the last spot would be Manch Central, led by the Pepins and Savon Facenda again, or Nashua South. So with Kelly Coffin and a low number 1, she's the obvious favorite to win. I think that those low points will be very beneficial. And so that'll be interesting to see who makes it on.
Alrighty. For Division 1 boys, I think, again, it's going to be a great race. We get the benefit of getting the storm early, and I think as day goes on, the course is going to be battered, and so hopefully we can rip it up. So Jeff trips and falls and can get a taste of my medicine. It sucks. So I think that for teams, I think Concord, we'd have to be the favorites. We've had a good season, and we're really looking to have a strong performance here and show everybody what we're made of. And then 2, I'm actually going to go with Keene. I agree with the coaches and say that Keene, they don't really race anybody, but they definitely they got a strong team. I mean, they got 5 really good guys, and Jake Velazquez and the Torn Kindop and the other Kindop, Aiden, are very good. Like, they're legit runners, and they'll be right there, obviously. 3rd, I'm going to go with Winnacunnet. Winnacunnet, they won Brown. I know that there's only 43 guys, as Luke said, but still a win's a win, and that was pretty impressive. Number 4, we got Londonderry. Londonderry is a team that could strike. They could be in that top 2, as I said earlier. They got. It really depends on how Will Heenan races. He's as good as anybody in the state when he's on. So, we want to wish him the best. We hope he's right there. If he is, they're right there. And then 5, we got Pinkerton. Pinkerton is another one of those Londonderry type teams that if they put it all together, they could be right there. I mean, they've been steady and they've been kind of under the radar, more so than most years. They were 2nd, I believe, at Catholic Memorial. They were right in front of North, which ties me into my 6th pick is going to be North. And I think that Gideon didn't have that great a race if Jeff didn't even mention him, and Gideon is Jeff's father. So, if he comes together and they all put it together, North could be chipping in the top 5 too. And then for individuals, I listed out 12 people that I think could be in that top 10, could make up that even top 5, in no particular order. But I think I'd have to start off with Eli Best-Dining. I think he was personally snubbed on the preview. I think he is a top 2 guy. I personally, I'm biased, but I do. And I think I will be top 5 for sure. And then Jake Velasquez, Jake Winslow, Joe Gagnon, Rory Curran, Colin Donnelly, Aiden O'Hearn, Dave Cook, Evan Bragg, Will Heenan, Ryan Devine. I mentioned a lot of Concord guys, but we're going to see how it shows up on Saturday. And I think a big thing is just going to be watching how the race is going to go out. I'm pretty sure that the Keene guys will probably be pushing the pace early on, as they like to do. And we'll see how the rest of the state responds. It's going to be pretty interesting.
All right, so before I start,
Yep.
Other than Gideon, I want
Yes.
to give a shout out to my actual dad. It's his birthday today.
Oh, hey.
He's walking downstairs. So big shout out to him.
Happy birthday.
Division 3 states. So again, talking about the weather, it's more towards the middle of the day. Really, the weather is a big contender. As you know, it can really make or break a race. So some people like racing in weather, some people don't, and who knows what happens to the course. Everyone knows that course is likely to give out on the rock areas to mud and everything. So, but what I have, I'm going to start with the girls. So the real top 3 girls teams that I have are Kearsarge, Hopkinton, Campbell, not in order. I would say that Hopkinton's going to take it. Campbell girls are going to be right after them, and the Kearsarge team is going to come in with them. For the top girls, I have Maya Doobie taking it, and then Maya Cooley coming in second right behind her. Then I have Margaret St. John and Catherine Snow. Moving into the boys, the top teams I have, Messina's really strong this year. No doubt about that. They obviously they had it last year. This year, Campbell boys are going to try to take it. It's going to be really tough, but I think that we really all the guys want it bad, so I think we're going to go for it.
Oh, yeah, Jeffy, yeah.
After that, I have Kearsarge coming in and Trinity. So the top guys, not really sure how it's going to play out. So a lot of the guys haven't really raced each other head-to-head. Like towards the end of the season, we've had a couple of meets at the beginning of the season where we raced head-to-head. But obviously, I'm hoping for a top 5 finish. I got Landon Valancourt coming in, really strong runner. He had a really strong race at Co-Brown, Black Bear Invite, and so he should really be a big contender. Then we got Trinity's Donovan and Senek, really strong runners. Trinity moved down to the division this year, so I think they're really hoping for a good race for them. And of course, we have Cody Davis from Lebanon. He's a really strong runner, and I think that he wants it bad this year, and I think he's going to have a great race.
The toughest survive. Good.
So for D2 girls, the race for the team title is extremely competitive this year. I think that there's like 3 or 4 teams between Co-Brown, Oyster River, Souhegan, and Conval. It could really be anyone's race, and individually it's really tight as well between Sophia Reynolds, Julia Robitaille, and like Lauren Robinson. I think that it'll be interesting to see how Julia is going to take on D2s, as she seemed to have a little bit of a slower start to her season compared to Sophia Reynolds, but now she definitely seems to be coming in to form, so it'll be interesting to see who takes the individual title. And I honestly think that for the team title, it's going to come down to who really handles the weather the best and who handles how chewed up the course is, just because we're the second to last race of the day and the weather is probably going to be pretty nasty by then. So I think it's going to come down to whoever really adjusts the best way to the weather.
Addison, you have $1 million. Who are you putting it on for team?
For the team, I mean, I'd like it to be Co-Brown.
No, I just thought I like it. Who $1 million? You have to put it down. Who are you putting? 3, 2, 1. Answer.
I don't know.
No, you got it. $1 million. You're betting it. Do it now.
Okay, okay, Brown.
Yeah.
Violet, what do you think?
Loved
For
it.
D1 or D2?
D1.
Okay.
$1,000 on the line.
I might have to go with Pinkerton, just because they have. What?
Have that.
You.
Oh, God, your teammates are gonna be pissed.
We're going to put up a fight based on we just need to prove ourselves first though. So
Wow. All right. That's fair game.
we're very excited, and if we can close our pack, and if we can everyone healthy, everyone again the weather, I think we can definitely put up a fight, and we're very excited. So
Good.
yes.
It's gonna be nice. I like this. Okay. Luke.
All right, the Division II boys at the top. Well, first of all, it's the last race of the day, so it has the worst weather and worst course conditions. So it's really down to who just maintains calm throughout the race and just, does their best.
Luke's involved now.
For the first ranked team is Co Brown. And the
Why are you
second.
talking about your team so much, dude? Come on, let's go. Moving on.
All right.
Cut it out, bro.
Is Oyster River. That's the two Tier 1 teams. And then, Oyster River is the defending champion, so they have the ground. They have the defending champs. They have that title. Tier 2 is Salhegan and Hanover. And Tier 3 is Conval and Bow. Then Tier 4 is Merrimack Valley and Sanborn.
Nice.
So a few individuals I have are David Reynolds and, of course, Matt Reynolds, his brother. So you can't always ever count them out. Next is Dawson Dubois from Co Brown, and then Andy O'Brien from Oyster River, and then the rest of the Oyster River boys, and then Dylan Khalil from Sanborn.
Come on. You're not going to mention yourself or Wyatt Mackey. You're not even going to do it.
Oh, all right. And me.
Wow, there we go. I love it. Hey, so we got a few questions, from God and God's counterpart, Tim Cox. And they said, are you wearing spikes? Now, this is an interesting question because there's a lot of pavement. And for the Concord boys, we're saying no. We're not.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think it's too much pavement.
Do you normally wear spikes or no?
I'm definitely wearing spikes.
Okay.
Never wear
Yeah,
spikes.
totally.
Just suck it
The
up.
mud. I was thinking whether or not to wear more than.
So
Yeah.
typically, the last couple of years I've worn spikes at Managed Invite and States. This year I am not. I'm wearing blanks.
Really?
Yep.
I think that's the way to go.
I've always worn spikes, and you need it, especially with the mud. It's going to, and especially with D2 and
Yeah.
D3 at the end of the day. Oh my God, it's gonna be completely torn up.
Mhm.
That's the thing.
I
don't know
like spikes on
how much
pavement.
spikes is going to help you in mud because mud's slow no matter what. Like whether you got spikes on or not. Like spikes are supposed to be an advantage. So
One thing that we saw when we were previewing the course, where Forrest took a fall at Manchester, it had a lot of dirt over that.
Come on, bro. What are you doing right now? trying to make me angry?
So Tim Cox is asking me why I'm switching. So actually this year it was the first time I switched. I wore waffles at Managed Invite. And then over the last couple of races I started wearing blanks just to try it out because I figured I'd be wearing blanks at Managed Invite. Just because, like Forrest said, it's a lot of pavement. Like it's too much for spikes, on my opinion. Because really, the advantage on pavement is no spikes. So with that much pavement, I really much rather wear blanks.
Tough call. It
Yep.
is a tough call.
Yeah, I'm definitely wearing spikes because I think that the fields are going to get pretty chewed up and pretty slippery, especially by the time my race comes around. And I also think that the two hills are going to also be pretty chewed up, and they might even be pretty washed out. So I think that spikes will be a good have.
What size? 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch?
Yeah, and the main crucial part is the fields, and that's where you really need the spike. So that's what I thought.
Mhm.
We'll see.
What are you guys doing for warming up and tents and with the wind? Are you staying in buses? I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we'll be in a bus.
I think we have a trailer.
Oh yeah, the trailer.
We are going to be out in the open testing our strengths against the elements. We actually are bringing hammocks. We're going to set those up.
That's a good move.
Yeah, thanks.
Stay off the ground.
Yeah, Dave Cook said he wants to do the swimming challenge, so he's going to go out there and maybe he's going to do some angels.
During the race, that's a good idea.
Yeah, before the race, obviously.
So what we're doing is we're doing our signature move. Set the tent up, put it as low as possible. As many blankets as possible. Cover up, stay dry, stay warm.
Low tent is the move. We did that at Big State. That's awesome.
We get a table set up in there. We got food laid out. Everything. It's nice.
Ping pong in there.
Yeah, a couple games. It's almost professional style, but it's not that big.
I got a big question for you here. You play like this with the paddle like so, or do you play like this with the paddle like the?
So, legendary ping pong player Robert Sadi once showed me this move. I always play the paddle on this side, my hand right here, the paddle here.
Sure.
And I go, boom, and I always give it a little bit of a bump up so the ball curves down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what is the hardest part of Dairyfield, do you think? And especially this weekend, what do you think the hardest part is going to be?
I guess curving the ball, because you got to get it over the net, but you still got to curve it. No, I think the hardest part of Dairyfield is, that is actually a tough question. I think it's, you got to give it a lot up the hills. Like you got to go on those hills because that's where people can pull away from you. And if you're not like hammering those hills, like the uphills, like people can drop you easy. For me, that's what I think is like most important and hard part.
In my opinion, I like running hills. Obviously, Dairyfield is a totally different course than a hilly course. It's a crazy course, but in my opinion, the hardest part is the grass finish. It's like super long finish. You got almost 1,000-meter stretch of running grass, and you can see the finish line the whole time, but you're just far away still at the end.
That does suck.
The great part about that is you got everyone. They got it set up so everyone's watching you, everyone's cheering for you. So you're mentally there. You know that everyone's supporting you at that moment. But that's definitely the hardest part for me. It's the finish.
That's a good point.
I think the hardest part this weekend, especially, and this was kind of seen at the Mansion Vite, were those really muddy spots. Mm-hmm. That also slows down a lot. And, if somebody goes through it or somebody goes around it, and like that could actually take off a couple seconds every time too. And when you go up those hills, you go around the tree in the first mile and you go up the hill by the gazebo, that stretch right there is really muddy. So that could just be like technical. Whoever can get up that the fastest, that could save, like 10 seconds if you go up that the right way.
Yeah. That turn is that can be a problem because if one person slips, they can take out like 5 other people.
Yep.
That's what you want.
And that'll just start
right at the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
Keep the camera there. That would be funny.
I might do that.
So you probably want to take the inside.
I think that a really important part is definitely the hills and like keeping in contact and staying as strong as possible. But I also think that and like the downhill after the 2-mile mark is also really crucial to make your moves and then maintain them. Like whatever you do on the downhills, you need to make sure that you maintain on the field, definitely, especially like when you're getting closer to the finish and near the door and stuff. It's definitely tough and it's going to be really chewed up and muddy.
So that's the thing.
On Saturday, so.
It's farther than you think. Like I see people and they're always like, they'll go from the top of the hill and they'll just go absolutely ham. But it's like, no kind of ways to go.
Yeah.
Like, more than you think. Because you think it's like, it's just going to end. But then like, you still got to go uphill to finish.
Yep.
It's not, you just can't give it all right away, which is kind of a tough balance. See? But you know, Jeffy, want to wrap us up here or what, kid?
Yeah, I'll wrap us up. So, obviously, everyone's getting excited for states. A little bit worried about the weather, but this is New Hampshire, so we're used to it. If anyone's ready for it, we are. So,
603. You know what I'm saying?
Really be prepared for this weekend. It's gonna be interesting to see how things work out, especially moving into Meet of Champions. It's gonna be interesting to see how all the teams do. Big shout out and thanks to Runners Alley. Make sure to stop by, grab a towel for this. And of course, t-shirts and everything at States.
All right, awesome.
Okay.